In lesson 4.5, think about it. You have to find the value of b in the equation 1/2 b plus negative 1/4 equals 3/8. First thing I notice is that there are a lot of fractions. And so this whole lesson is going to be a lot about adding and subtracting fractions and converting fractions. So even though you, I'm sure, understand the basis of how to solve for b, this question is going to test your knowledge on fractions. So I write the equation. The first thing I'm going to do is notice my variables versus my constants. I want the constants all on one side, so I use inverse operations to add 1/4. So I'm going to add 1/4 on this side, 1/4 on this side. So I can't just solve it like this since the denominators are different. I'm going to rewrite this. So 1/2 b equals 3/8 plus 1/4. Now I need to make the denominators the same, so I can multiply this by 2/2. You can multiply any fraction by something that's equivalent to 1. 2/2 is the same as multiplying it by 1, but that gives me a fraction with the same denominator, 3/8 plus 2/4, and I can add that, makes 5/8. So in my new equation, I have my variables on this side, 1/2 b is equal to 5/8. Now, whenever I have 1/2, I can, what I typically do, as I say, is I divide by 1/2 and divide by 1/2, but I actually think there's an easier way when you have 1/2. So I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to say I'm going to multiply by 2 and multiply by 2, because 1/2 times 2 is 1. So this gives me b is equal to 10/8. 10/8 I can reduce is 1 and 2/8, which is 1 and 1/4. Now this does say provide a formal check. So I'm going to write the check over here. I'm going to rewrite the equation with my answer. So I have 1/2, instead of putting b, I put my answer, 1 1/4, plus minus 1/4 is equal to 3/8. I'm going to convert everything to the eighths. Since I know that 1/4 is 10/8, I actually switched my 1 1/4 here to 10/8. So I have 1/2 times 10/8 minus 2/8. So half of 10/8 would be 5/8. So this would be 5/8 subtract 2/8, which would give me 3/8, and that is my answer.